Alright, so today we're going to get into a little bit of welding, but I guess, being someone who's never welded before, I did the obvious thing, which was get on YouTube and look up a cheap, good welder, and I saw the Harbor Freight titanium flux core welder, and by the way, we'll get to this later, but you cannot use the wire that comes with it. It's horrible, and it will just discourage you. And I don't know why they sell it with the welder, because it just causes people to take the welder back and not want it, because they don't realize that, you can just go get different wire, but it actually works and will make it weld together. But I didn't realize all that at first, but being naive and not, everything that I do, I go into it with a certain level of understanding that it's not going to work out like a dream. I never welded before, other than when I was a teenager. I stick welded a go-kart with my friend's uncle. So other than that, I really have zero experience. I've never MIG welded before. I have no idea. I had no idea what flux core was. It just seemed appealing to me because you don't need the gas, and I like the idea that I didn't need the gas. And 220, I don't have 220 in my garage, so I had to run 110. It had to be a 110 welder, and I also wasn't planning on welding to the frame or anything like that. I was just going to do some general welding, I guess you could say, and then finalize it at my buddy's house with his 220. So it's, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to set it up from watching videos, which is, I guess that's what's kind of going on here. I watch YouTube and get ideas, and it's how you learn about things, but, it's never, doing it is different than watching it. So no matter how many videos I watched on this welder and setting it up and everything, there were little bits left out that I wasn't expecting when I actually tried it. So I had a friend of mine come over, and thankfully he knows everything about welding. And today we just wanted to weld up some braces, because we have to cut out these rocker panels. It's completely rusted, and in order to do that, we need to brace the body, because it will just, crinkle like a pop can, and everything will be out of line, and, you need to brace everything. So we wanted to weld some braces in, and some of them are going to be wood, and that's fine as long as it doesn't move when we cut these rocker panels out. But I ran into 1,000 problems. For one, the electricity. Well, first, when we first started welding, the wire was so horrible that you could just pull the weld right off. There was no, it just wasn't holding. It was junk. And so after messing around with that for a half hour, we gave up, and we went over and got my buddy's welder that runs off 220, and I have this adapter that you can it's a 3-prong, or I'm not even sure, I can't even remember actually, but it's an adapter that turns two 110 cords running into one 220. So if it has two plugs coming out of it going into one, and if you plug it into two separate outlets, 110 and 110 makes 220, so it makes sense. But every time I'd plug it in, even without the welder being plugged in, it just kept popping my power, and I had to keep going down to the box and flipping the breakers. It just got really annoying, and so we ended up giving up on that. So in one last ditch attempt, we changed the wire. We used Lincoln wire, flux core wire, instead of the Japanese or Chinese, whatever it is. It's wire that it came with from Harbor Freight. And I still don't think that this welder is amazing by any means, but it definitely made a world of difference. And my buddy thankfully walked me through everything. I mean, I just filmed him doing some of the welding, but he knew what he was doing enough to where, I mean, it was still annoying for him because he's used to his MIG welder, and he uses gas. He doesn't like flux core per se, but we had to work with what we had just to get this braced up a bit. Now, I don't plan on doing the rocker panels with this welder. We're gonna have to get a MIG welder in here with gas, or else we're gonna have a real mess. But this did what we needed it to do for now, I guess you could say. Also, I mean, I guess I'll just, I'm not promoting the welder by any means, but it was $160. It was on sale, and I bought a cheap helmet, on Amazon, and some gloves, and I got everything I needed. Just a beginner. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about welding other than watching videos, and you can watch as many videos as you want, but as you have to kind of get your hands dirty and experience it, and that's how you really learn, because the speed that the wire comes out, everything, the angle you hold it at, the thickness of metal, it all comes into account, and you can't guesstimate how it's going to work out until you actually do it. And I mean, I know that I'm not an idiot, but at the same time, I didn't realize that the wire was going to be that bad. I heard from watching reviews on the welder itself, a lot of people complained about the wire, and they complained about the angle of where the wire feeds out. It's not angled enough, so it's really awkward to weld with. But ultimately, I can't really complain because it did exactly what we needed it to do, and it is very strong. After changing the wire, it's solid as a rock, and I'm just very thankful that I was able to do it with the power that I actually had in the garage. But yeah, so that's all I really got done today. It's not a very long one, but I just wanted to get some progress out there, and the next step will be the rocker panels, and that'll be that. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.